Install Mozilla Firefox browser. Open Mozilla Firefox browser. Go to the URL called selenium.dev. Selenium.dev. Under selenium.dev, there is Selenium IDE here, right? Oh, everything they have changed it now. Earlier it is like named as seleniumhq.org. Recently, seleniumhq.org. Now they have renamed that to selenium.dev. But the internal structure also has been changed. Click on this download. Once you click on this download, Selenium client, Selenium IDE. Yes, you have Selenium IDE for Firefox. Click on this for Firefox and click on OK. Go to selenium.dev. Open Mozilla Firefox browser. First open Mozilla Firefox browser. Go to selenium.dev. Don't open Chrome browser and do all these things. Open Mozilla Firefox browser because it supports only Mozilla Firefox browser. Then click on download. Once you click on download, under downloads you will get a option called Selenium IDE. You will get an option called Selenium IDE. Under Selenium IDE, click on this Firefox. There is something called for Chrome. It supports for Chrome also. Recently only they have implemented that. Recently, just before some 6 months, they have implemented that. Earlier it used to not to support for Chrome. Even for Chrome it doesn't support fully like how it supports for Firefox. That's why we tell that by default it supports only Firefox browser. It doesn't support any other browser. The Selenium IDE. Whereas when we come to the point of Selenium RC and WebDriver, it supports all the browsers. Selenium. In that case, when we talk about overall about Selenium supports multiple browsers, where Selenium RC and WebDriver supports, where Selenium IDE doesn't support all the browsers. It supports only Mozilla Firefox browser. So that's why we are going to click on Firefox. Click on this Firefox. Then click on Add to Firefox button. There is an Add to Firefox button, right? You have to click on that. But this button got disabled. Why? What is the reason? No. It is clearly given. This add-on requires new version of Firefox, at least version 56.0. You are using 46.0. Go to help about Firefox. Which version I am using? 46.0. That's why it is telling you cannot install this Selenium IDE in 46.0. What you have to do? At least go with more than 56. Any version more than 56, so that you can install this Selenium IDE. That is what it is mentioning here. Right? Can you tell me, can you repeat the steps once again how to install this Selenium IDE? Open Mozilla Firefox browser, then go to selenium.dev, then click on download, then under this go to Selenium IDE. Don't take down, listen, I'll give you time. I'll give you notes. Then under Selenium IDE, click on Firefox, then click on Add to Firefox. But this button got disabled. That's why I have to uninstall this version. I have to uninstall this Firefox version, install latest version. Latest version is 70.0 what you have, but that is a beta version. 70.0 versions are beta versions. Don't go with the beta versions ever. Go with the standard versions always. 67.0 is the latest version in Firefox what we have. 67.0. I am going to download that 67.0. You can go to Google and search for Mozilla Firefox browser latest version. You can download any latest version and you can install it. Already I have downloaded and installed and I have kept ready with me. Under D, under softwares, under here, I have 46.0 as well as 67.0. 67 is the latest version what we have. Okay, latest version. Download this latest version. This is the latest version of Firefox what we have. I am going to install. It has clearly mentioned there that we can use more than 56.0 any version. 67 is more than 56. Right? Just double click on this. Click on yes. Click on next. Next. Oh, sorry. Let me uninstall, or else what it will happen is, first I have to let me go to control panel. Let me uninstall the old version. or else it will install both the versions there. That's the problem with this Mozilla. Let me uninstall. Uninstall. Done. Sit there. Uninstall. Let me uninstall this. Finish. Then I have to install the latest version. This is the latest version what I have. Just double click on this, next and install it, so that you will get the latest version of Firefox browser. Then on top of that you can install this Selenium ID. Click on next, install. This is the latest version of Firefox browser. Now on this I can install the Selenium ID. How to install Selenium ID? Go to selenium.dev, then click on download, then under Selenium ID click on Firefox, then click on, now the button is enabled, right? I am not getting the red tag. Click on add to Firefox, then click on add, then okay, got it. Okay, got it. So that you have installed Selenium ID. This is the Selenium ID. Once you click on the Selenium ID, you can open this tool. This is the Selenium ID tool. Have you understood how to install? How to work with this tool we can see now, right? This is all about how to install Selenium ID. If you want to install Selenium, if you want to open Selenium ID, first you need to open the Firefox browser. Then only you can open the Selenium ID. Okay, now let us see the notes for this. Open Mozilla Firefox browser. Then what is the next step? Go to selenium.dev, then click on downloads, then under Selenium IDE, click on Firefox, then click on add to Firefox, then click on add. Okay, add. That's it. The next step is note. Use at least 56.0 version of Firefox browser. Got it? Take down this. Done. Next, see, now we have installed Selenium ID. We have a tool to automate, but we need an application to automate, right? We need some manual test cases to automate now, which means that we need some application and we need some manual test cases to automate. Now we are going to see about that, which test case we can automate. What I am going to do is, let me open this, open for facebook.com and start automating the login scenario of this facebook.com. Okay, can someone give your username and password? No one will give, I know that, right? That's why I'm not going to use this Facebook application. Instead of that, let me use different application. I'm going to use an application called demo.actitime.com. That is not www.actitime.com, that is demo.actitime.com. Take down this URL. Take down this URL, demo.actitime.com. Don't give anything like http, https or anything. Just give demo.actitime, actitime, actitime.com. Okay, open this URL. Once you open this demo.actitime.com, any doubts what you have? Okay, once you open this URL, it will ask you username and password. Until unless you give username and password, it will not log in into the application, but the username and password is given here itself. What is the username? Admin. Password is manager. Give that admin and manager and log in into the application, so that it will log in into the application. After logging in, I can click on log out. Just we need some application to log in and log out, whatever the application it might be. That's why I'm taking this demo.actitime.com application. See, what is this application is all about in the sense, I will just give you an overview of this application. For example, imagine that you're working for a company called TCS. For example, in ITPL TCS, there are thousands of employees who are working in a single location, but they will be working for different projects. Some 10 set of employees will be working for a particular project. Some 20 employees will be working for a particular project. Like that, some 15 employees will be working for a different project. Everyone will enter in a common gate and exit in a common gate by using their scanning IDs or thumb impressions or something. Right? Now, in this case, each and every employee will have a different login times and logout times. Different number of working hours also based upon the client what they are working. Right? HR has to track which employee is associated to which customer, whether they are following the time. They need some application to track the time, right? That's why they use this time tracking application, ActiTime application. Okay, we will see in detail functionality about this. As of now, what we are going to do, we should know how to log in into the application. We need a small scenario to to automate the login scenario. Right, that's why I'm taking this application. I can log in and I can log out of this application. Now I have installed Selenium IDE and I have an application to automate also. This is the application what I am going to automate. Right, just one test case I am taking in this application, that is login test case. Now I am going to start doing automation for this demo.actitime.com. Already I have installed Selenium ID, right? You know how to install Selenium ID. I install at least 56.0 version of Firefox browser and start install. Can you listen the class? What you are doing? Don't use mobiles in the class. Install Selenium ID, then go to demo.actitime.com. Okay. Now what I am going to do here is I have installed Selenium ID. This is the Selenium ID tool. Open the Selenium ID tool. This is the Selenium ID tool. Then record a new test case in a new project. I am going to start recording a test case. This Selenium ID, as I said, it is just a record and playback tool. Click on the Selenium ID. Click on the Selenium ID. Record a new test case in a new project. There is an option called record a new test case in a new project. Give the project name. Any name you can give. ActiTime or something. Click on OK. Give the URL on which URL you are going to work. Give the URL on which URL you are going to work. I am going to work on demo.actitime.com. That is the application what I am going to automate, right? That's why I am giving that that URL. Start recording. This is the browser and this is the Selenium ID tool. Are you getting this? This is the browser and that's the Selenium ID tool. Now, whatever I do in the browser, that will get recorded here. See here, I am going to type admin. That is getting recorded here, right? If I type manager, that is getting recorded there. If I click on login, that is getting recorded. Each and every step, whatever I do here in the browser, that is getting recorded in the Selenium ID. Okay, this is the record button. By default, record button is in on. Now, if I stop recording, if I do something here, will it get recorded there? If I log out, will it get recorded the logout step? No, it won't, because I have stopped recording already. Okay, this is the automation test. Now I am going to close this. This is one test case. Entering username, password, click on login. First it has opened that URL, then it has entered admin in the username text box, manager in the password box, then it has clicked on login button. Now I am going to run this and keep quiet. It will open demo.activetime.com, enter admin manager, click on login. Login test case I have automated now, right? Just a record and playback tool. Selenium ID is just a record and playback tool. Can you tell me how to record a test case? Record the login test case again? Can we do that from the beginning? Once again. Can you tell me now? Go to Selenium ID, open the tool first, then record a new test case in a new project. Give some project name. Any name you can give. Click on OK. Then provide the URL. Which URL? The application what you are going to work. Provide that URL, demo.activetime.com. Complete URL. Start recording. This is the browser and this is the Selenium ID tool. Now whatever you do here, that will get recorded. Enter admin. Recorded, right? Enter manager. Then click on login. Done. You can stop recording. How to stop recording? Click on stop recording. While you are stopping recording, it will ask a test name. Just give some test name, as I am going to give this as login. Click on OK. Now this is one test case. That is a login test case. Right. Now I can run this test case. Log out and kill the browser. Then let me run this. If I run this, it will open demo.activetime.com. It will enter admin manager, click on login. It has been logged in successfully. Are you understanding how to automate? Yes. Now, if I run this once again, it will throw you an error. It will open demo.activetime.com. Then it will try to enter username in the admin in the username text box, but I am not getting that field here. Why? I didn't log out. I didn't kill the session properly. Okay, make sure all the prerequisites are done clearly. Before doing this, log out. If you log out, then it will try to identify that username text box. Now it is logging in successfully. Right? Or else, if you just run it again, right, it will try to open demo.activetime.com. It will try to enter the username in the username text box. It cannot find. It will wait for 30 seconds. Even though if it doesn't find that username in 30 seconds, right, then it will throw you an error. Wait for 30 seconds. Then it will throw the error here. And it will show the red mark in the Selenium ID. Yes. Now it has failed. Trying to find ID equal to username failed. Implicitly wait 30 seconds. It has waited for 30 seconds. But it didn't find. That's why it has thrown an error here. That's why kill the session properly. Then try to run so that it will run successfully. Run this. It will open demo.activetime.com. Enters admin manager. Click on login. Now I have automated one login scenario. Now what you can do here is, You can open Selenium ID and you open your application once, do all the things whatever you are doing it manually. You can save the test case. Then next day when you are coming, you can open the test case and you can run the test case. How to save and run also I will tell you now. You can save and run so that whatever the manual effort you are doing, that will get saved, right? Manual effort will be saved. You don't want to do it again and again. That is what just to show what is meant by automation I am teaching you here. Going further in Selenium WebDriver, we will not be having a code like this. We will be writing some piece of Java code here, where if you run the Java code, the same thing will happen. How to write that? That is what we are going to learn in Selenium WebDriver. Are you understanding this clearly? Now, let me record the test case once again, save the test case and rerun the test case again. Which one? Kill the session, which means that already if I log in and if I try to run once again, right, it will open this URL. As soon as it opens the URL, right, it is trying to identify the username. But if you have already logged in, username text box will not be there. That's why it will try to identify if that element is not there, then it will throw an error. Which means that kill the session, log out properly and run it, rerun it when you are rerunning. Yes, you have to log out. You should not leave as it is if you want to run the test case again. Okay, now how to record a test case, can you tell me once again? So that this time I will save the test case. Open Selenium ID, then record a new test case in a new project. Project name, done. URL, done. Start recording. This is the URL. This is the Selenium ID. Okay. Now I am going to enter admin. Then password call manager. Then click on login. I have saved one test case here. I have written one test case here. I have recorded the test case, sorry. Now I am going to stop this, login, save this, save this. Now what I am going to do here is, I am going to save this test case. This is one test case here, right? Go to save project, under D, under classes, under D, under classes, under batch 142. Your batch number is 142, not 143. Here I am going to save this. I am going to save this. Just save this. I have saved this. Now under D, under classes, under batch 142, I have a Selenium ID, active time Selenium ID. This is the test case, what I have saved it. Now what I can do here is, this is what we have saved, right? This is a test case what I have saved, and I have saved this as active time. I have saved this as active time. Test case as active time. Now I can close this test case. I can close this test case. I have recorded a test case and I have saved a test case by using this button. Now I am going to close this. Close this today. Come back tomorrow again. Start opening that test case whatever you have saved yesterday and run that. Try to run that. It has to run successfully. How to open the test case and run? First click on Selenium ID. Then what is the next step? Open an existing project. Then select the file, classes, batch 142, open this active time Selenium ID. Then it has opened. Now what I can do, I can run this and sit idle so that it will open the browser, open Selenium IDE, enter admin manager, click on login. That is how you can save your time. Save your time, manpower, everything will be saved if you do automation. Have you understood how to record a test case and how to run the test case? Can you go home and do this? Yes, right? Now, finally, I'll tell you once again the drawbacks. Let me See, what you do is go home and start installing the Selenium ID and open Selenium ID and start automating your banking application. Like ICICIbank.com, AxisBank.com, or else what you can do, record a new test case in a new project. Instead of this, open ICICIbank.com, open the ICICIbank.com URL. Imagine that I have given ICICIbank.com URL and start recording. This is the test case. Okay, tell your friend to enter the username and password. Tell your friend to enter the username and password of ICICIbank.com, so that he will enter the username and password of that ICICIbank.com. Click on login. Okay, after logging in, what you can do is you can tell him to log out. That logout has been successfully done. He is safe and secure. Right? He feels that he is safe and secure. Then once he goes out, just minimize this and go back and see what is his username and password. What is his username? What is his username? Admin. What is his password? Manager. You can do that easily. See, earlier days they used to have a tag called the Selenium. The Selenium ID is, recently only they have implemented this tag. Selenium ID is recording at the bottom. Earlier that is also not there. In that case, you can, in browsing centers or somewhere, you can open the browser, install Selenium ID at the background, and you can minimize that, and you can tell them to do something. Everything will get recorded. His Gmail username, password, everything, Facebook username and password. Once he goes out, I can take that and I can log in into that. Is it secured? Is Selenium ID secured? No. That is why people have stopped using. There are a lot of drawbacks to using the Selenium IDE. Right? Selenium IDE is just a record and playback tool. It doesn't do anything. For example, if I want to log in and log out for 100 times, at least manually I have to log in and log out once, so that I can record the test case and I can rerun it. I cannot use any for loops or do anything, any program here by using Selenium IDE. Whereas by using Selenium WebDriver, I can use a small for loop and write 4 lines of code where it will iterate for 100 times with different usernames and passwords. We can do that also there. Those descriptive programming is not possible here. It will not encrypt the passwords. That's the problem. Lot of drawbacks are there with this Selenium ID. Are you understanding these drawbacks? It is less secured. Descriptive programming is not possible. It supports only Mozilla Firefox browser. It is an add-on to the Mozilla Firefox browser. Because since it is an add-on to the Mozilla Firefox browser, after few days, if Selenium guys are not accepting their add-ons due to security reasons, then this tool itself will get outdated very soon. There is a scope of getting outdated very soon. Whereas Selenium WebDriver is not like that. Everything, these drawbacks, whatever we have saw in this Selenium IDE will be overtaken. Now I hope when we come to these 4 points, you will understand this clearly. It is just a record and playback tool. It supports only Mozilla Firefox browser. It is an add-on to the Mozilla Firefox browser. It is less secure. Are you understanding this, guys? This is all about Selenium IDE. Do you have any doubts with the Selenium IDE now? No, right? Go home, start, yeah.
Is there any way that CAPTCHA,
CAPTCHA cannot be automated by using 90% of the automation tools. Only 10% of the automation tools supports CAPTCHA. Selenium cannot take CAPTCHA. ID, WebDriver, no Selenium tool will automate CAPTCHA. Do you know the reason why they give CAPTCHA? Below that they would have clearly written, prove that you are not a robot. Which means that to stop automation they will be implementing that CAPTCHA. Again we cannot automate that, right? The reason behind why they have given CAPTCHA is to stop automation. Again we cannot do the automation for CAPTCHA. Securely, there are some other tools where we can integrate that with Selenium and we can make it to work. That we can do it. Any other doubts what you have, guys? Okay, that is all about our today's class, whatever we have saw. In tomorrow's session we will discuss about this basics of HTML. See, basics of HTML. See, to do any automation activity, we will be doing two steps. One is identifying the element. Next one is, what are the two steps what we will do to do automation? That we will learn anyhow tomorrow. To do any automation, we will identify the element and we will perform action on elements. To identify the elements, we should know the basics of HTML. We will see about that in detail tomorrow. Tomorrow's class is very important actually. You cannot miss tomorrow's class. At any cost, don't miss tomorrow's class. It is quite important as well. Right? Let us see in tomorrow's class. We are going to build a website tomorrow with different elements, one text box, one radio button, one. It will not take more than 1 hour to build a website. Okay, one web page, not complete website. We will build a web page, right? So that we can understand the basics of HTML. Later on, we can start identifying the elements. Where identifying the elements becomes very easy for us. From tomorrow onwards, we will have 1.5 hours of sessions completely.